Hey everybody, welcome to My Physical World. Today we are in the world of ArcGIS Pro for doing some satellite analysis. This video is pretty much going to show you visual change detection. There are a lot of tools for doing satellite imagery analysis for change detection. Today, we're just going to look at some visual things. I'll touch upon some tools that are available to you. For those in the United States, you already know this. For those that are not in the United States, the winter of 2022/2023 was dramatic in terms of snowfall out west, okay? The western United States and a lot of the United States is under a lot of drought conditions. Out west, a lot worse than most other areas. Here in northern Ohio, where we've never been in a drought condition, even though the past month we did not have any rain until the past couple days. But yeah, out west, major drought conditions. However, the winter of 2022 and 23 has kind of put a dent in the drought. It hasn't ended it, but it has actually given some relief. If you guys have been paying attention to the news, you know about Lake Powell, Lake Mead, two of the biggest reservoirs here in the United States that are way below their normal levels. And a lot of you have probably seen pictures of the so-called bathtub ring, which has become quite famous. Here's some pictures of Lake Mead, and notice the bathtub ring, the water level. Now, I visited Hoover Dam. This is Hoover Dam. And I visited Hoover Dam back when I was a senior in high school, way back in the 1980s. Okay, and back then you were able to drive across Hoover Dam. You can still walk on the dam nowadays, but I remember when I was on Hoover Dam, the water was covering these huge inlets to the turbines for the hydroelectric power. But yeah, the water was all the way up here. And it was in 2000 as well. But since then, the water has receded out of Lake Mead. And that's because of human consumption, to be honest with you. Okay? People were taking water out faster than it was replenishing, even though the amount of precipitation feeding Lake Mead through Lake Powell, even though it was way below normal, humans were consuming that water even faster. Thus, the bathtub ring. Okay? So, that's Lake Mead. Okay, and you've noticed some pictures of the lake used to be way up here in this area here. All right? Now, we are going to take a quick tour, as fast as I can, I guess, in ArcGIS Pro, and I'm utilizing Landsat 8 and Landsat 9, and I have set up the band combinations to be 7, 5, and 3, which gives you the infrared signatures. It's that band combination allows you to see excellent contrast, okay? And that's why I chose this band combination. But I've set up every image that I have in bands 7, 5, and 3, 2 infrared bands, and then the blue band. Did I get that right? Red, green, and blue. Yes. Band 2 is blue light. Okay? So every image that you see is infrared 752. The first area that we're looking at is Lake Tulare in Southern California. So we're using Google Earth. This is Southern California. Okay, San Luis Obispo here. Okay, and San Francisco up here, Fresno right here, and Bakersfield right here. Tulare Lake is a it's dry most of the time. Okay, it's a dry lake bed, and when it is not flooded, which doesn't happen very often, they do conduct agricultural practices. Okay, so this area right here is all Tulare Lake. All right, so let's go back to the Landsat image. Sorry about that. And you will notice the agriculture that was going on June 6th, 2022. Okay, in this band combination, very healthy vegetation shows up in variations of green. Okay, the white over here are clouds. All right, and if it was snow or precipitation, the white would show up with kind of a blue. So if you kind of look down here in this corner right here, this is some precipitation, probably snow in the higher elevations. Okay, but this is cloud cover, the white is. But this right here is Tulare Lake. In June 2022, it was completely dry and being farmed. But if I use the swipe tool in ArcGIS Pro, you basically set up two images that are on top of each other and hit the swipe button. You can take your mouse and you can slide from one to the other. Notice the change. Okay, so I'm going to slide this back up, and you can see the change. Now in infrared, water is going to show up blackish, all right, because it absorbs infrared. All right, so this is 2023, only a few days ago, where Lake Tulare Lake is filling up with water, and it's been doing that for the past few months. Okay, and this is all meltwater from the snow in the Sierra Nevadas. Now I'm going to turn off the layer itself, turn off 2022, so we can get a good look at the Landsat imagery for 2023. And again, you have a larger bank of clouds at the Sierra Nevadas right here. But notice up here we have a lot of blue. That is snow on the ground in June, okay, which doesn't happen very often, okay? But they still have a lot of snowpack still up in the Sierra Nevadas. The Sierra Nevadas in some locations have received over 600 inches. That's 1,500 centimeters of snow in this past season. A tremendous amount. And it's heavy, it's wet, it's packed. Okay, so it's going to stay around for a while and trickle down all of the different drainage areas and start filling up a lot of these reservoirs and, in this case, ancient lakes like Tulare Lake. Now we're going to switch over to another part of California. And we have just zoomed out to the northern part of California. Here is Lake Tahoe, Reno, Nevada area here. Northern California, San Francisco's down here. And we are zooming in to Oroville, California. So here's Oroville right here. Whoops, hit R to get straight down again there. And we are going to zoom in to Lake Oroville, which is a big, gigantic catch reservoir for the northern Sierras. So that's the geography. That's where we are. All right. So let's switch over to ArcGIS Pro and take a look. Okay. I'm gonna switch my order here. I'm gonna drop this one down to here. Let's see. I'm gonna take this one and move it up. There we go. So here is 2022 Lake Orville in Northern California. And if we zoom in, you can see that it has a bathtub ring around it as well. This was just a year ago. All right, this brown, all this brown area is basically a bathtub ring. All right, some islands showing up here, and here is the Lake Orville dam and spillway, which they just finished spending over $1 billion reconstructing this because it blew out quite a few years ago. Or a couple years ago. I can't remember the exact date. Okay. But they have totally re-engineered this area down here because of a catastrophic failure in the spillway, the emergency spillway. But that's not why the bathtub ring is shown up. That's because of the drought conditions in 2022. But if we slide, we can see what the condition of the lake is from the date on this is May 30th, 2023. Okay, so not quite a month ago. But the lake is full. It's back to its normal capacity. Okay. And you can see in the image here, all right, so if you notice this island that shows up in 2022, it is just a dot now in 2023. Okay, so let me turn off 2022 and talk about 2023. You can see that they're letting water out at the spillway right now, and this is the brand new $1 billion spillway. Okay, but Lake Orville itself has totally recovered from the drought conditions from a year ago because of all of the snow melt from the winter of 22 to 23. Okay, let's move to one more spot here in the United States. For this next example of the amount of water that was coming, now this water will be, these lakes are fed by the Rocky Mountains and the Colorado River. So if we zoom out, we're in northern Arizona right now and southern Utah. Here is the Grand Canyon right along this area right here. And the Colorado River comes in and feeds the area, so to speak. Okay, Lake Powell is upstream of Lake Mead, and this reservoir right here is where I showed you the bathtub ring, right? Okay, but Lake Powell feeds, it's up above the Grand Canyon, so this is the place that we're gonna concentrate right now. So let's bring up our Landsat imagery. Here is the Landsat imagery, again, bands 7, 5, and 2 for being able to notice some contrast visually, all right? But this is the state of Lake Powell in June 2022. And if we use our sliding tool again, pair your images on top of each other and then turn the swipe on, and you can move your mouse and slide up and down. Now, since this is a larger reservoir, the changes are a little bit more subtle on your screen. But what I want you to do is I want you to notice this area right here. Okay, so I'm going to slide. Oops, I want to go up and down. We're going to slide. And this is 2022, and this is 2023, okay? So Lake Powell is also replenishing. It is not at the top, but a significant amount of water has entered back into the reservoir. So if you're doing some sliding here, like down here at the bottom right here, am I in the way? No, right here. Okay, if we slide, we notice the amount of water that has been filling up Lake Powell. And Lake Powell, the engineers at Lake Powell have been releasing water to let water downstream, hopefully to start filling, giving Lake Mead some relief as well. I won't get into water rights and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty complicated. But there is some relief in terms of the drought conditions at Lake Powell. Are they past the drought? No, they are not. But again, we got to remember human consumption, all right? But dramatic change in 1 year because of the amount of snow that has fallen in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains and in the Sierra Nevadas. Now, I just turned off 2022, okay? And we can kind of zoom in here, and we'll turn back 2022, and we'll do some sliding where you can get some close-up areas. Now, you got to remember, the resolution of Landsat imagery is 30 meters, okay? But this is a very, very large reservoir. It's one of the largest here in the United States, okay? But there is some relief coming down from the snowmelt in the Rockies, okay? So if we zoom out here, this is the entire scene way out here. Okay, we have some precipitation falling up here, okay? And if we turn that off and look at this year, okay, we have some snowpack right here. This light blue in Landsat, in this band combination, snow shows up as light blue, okay? So significant pack up here, all right? So there is some relief from the drought. Is the drought over, like I keep saying? No, it is not. But for this season, there is some relief. It's just that we need to conserve water anyway. We need to be good stewards of our good earth, all right? So that's using ArcGIS Pro for doing some basic visual change detection. And again, there are some tools. Did I use Lake Powell for this one? I think I did, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is zoom in, and I'm going to turn on this layer that I call Preview Mask. And this is using the software itself to actually do change detection between reflectancy of two bands over the same area. So basically it's comparing two bands of the Landsat image to see the change detection. And this is an automatic tool, okay? This is a tool that actually just comes with ArcGIS Pro, okay? And that is in the imagery and change detection. And then that is a wizard that actually walks you through setting up the two images that you want to compare. And it creates an image that you can readily see the change. If you notice right down here, you'll see some dark stripes right through here, and you see some tan coming through here. These are pixel changes from one year to the other. Okay, so it's showing you the ability of having the software do the detection for you where there are changes in the satellite imagery. And if you notice, remember up here, this area right here where it changed visually, okay, so if we go visually and I use my slider and we slide up here in this area right here, you can visually see the change, all right? And what this wizard did was actually detect the values of the pixel and highlight those to show that this was a big change area. So ArcGIS Pro has some awesome remote sensing tools for using satellite imagery, whether you're using Landsat or Sentinel. So anyway, I walked you through some change detection for some replenishing of some reservoirs here in the United States in one snow season. I recommend that you guys get ArcGIS Pro and use it. There is nothing like it. ArcMap was great, but ArcMap is on its way out. ArcPro is going to be fully the future for GIS in ESRI products. Yes, there's QGIS, which is open source and free software. It had a competition with ArcMap, but it will not have a competition with ArcGIS Pro. I love QGIS, don't get me wrong. I do use it. And it's the money's right. It's free, okay? But in the professional world, ArcGIS Pro is right now the Cadillac, to be honest with you. And I've been using ArcGIS ESRI products for over 40 years now. But that is change detection using ArcGIS Pro, visual change detection, but there are tools to have it automate those processes for you. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour of what a year can do when we have enough precipitation to give relief from drought conditions. Hey, if you guys haven't subscribed to my physical world, please do that. Hit the notification bell for upcoming videos. Hit that like and please comment. I welcome all civilized comments. We're all in this together in being good stewards of this earth and monitoring all the different processes. We're all scientists and artists all at the same time. But if you feel inclined to support me, buymeacoffee.com. That would really help me. And please share this with your colleagues, especially those in the decision making that if your organization doesn't have ArcGIS Pro, please consider. And if you want to learn how to use ArcGIS Pro, ESRI makes a personal license available to you, and it's only $100 a year. Okay, I really recommend it for learning how to use the software. All right. So I will see you guys on the next video, and we'll see you later. Where's my button? There it is. See ya.